So yeah,
Yeah,
excited to kick this workshop off. This is our second dev lab. So today we're focused on building a Shopify AI agent with some really cool extensions, doing things like OTP as well as image scanning. And also we are joined by a very special guest, or two very special guests from the Parkfield Commerce team, who's gonna show us a bit more and tell us a bit more about their experience building AI agent experiences on Shopify as a Shopify Plus agency themselves. So lots of great stuff to dive into today. Okay, so just to kick things off, gonna do a quick agenda. We're gonna do introductions between Nico and I, meet the Parkfield team, then overview our three extensions that we'll be demoing today and walking through. And then at the end, we will do a Q&A and wrap up. So what's really exciting is between each of the speaker sections, we will be opening Q&A. So just as a quick reminder, you can either use the Q&A tab or the chat tab to drop your questions. Or if you are feeling daring and would like to join us on stage, you can click on the raise hand button. Just make sure you have your question in chat or Q&A so that I know that it's a serious inquiry. Then I can add you up on stage and you can join us and can meet us as well. All right, so without further ado, we'll do a quick intro so I can kick things off while I'm still talking. So hi, I'm Kim. I'm currently the community lead at Voiceflow. You've probably seen me messaging a ton on Discord, but I do things like community programs, events like this. And also just figuring out ways to grow our marketplace and community as a whole. So if you have any suggestions around all those areas, feel free to DM me on Discord. But I'll pass the mic over to Nico.
Yeah, thanks, Kim. So I'm Nico, working at Voiceflow as well as a product advocate and with the Tico team. And today I will do my best to explain you how you can generate advanced feature for your agent.
Love it. But wanted to kind of level set before we start any workshop of kind of where we're at, especially in the AI agent building space. It's a pretty new space. So generally what we're seeing at Voiceflow is that there's two core types of AI agent goals. Either you're focused on reducing cost, so looking at things like decreasing the cost per ticket, increasing resolution rate, or on the flip side, you're looking at increasing revenue. So creating additive experiences like reducing friction, increasing basket size, as well as conversion rate. And so as a whole, we're seeing a lot more customers think about this. So if you're an agency, having these in the back of your mind as you're building projects is really key. All that to say is that e-commerce retail is evolving, especially in the AI space. And more agencies as well as community members are thinking about how to build truly custom interfaces that embed these experiences in a really natural way. And so this is a really strong example from Alex Duff, who's a member in our community who shared this custom Shopify interface, Voiceflow on Shopify interface for an e-commerce battery company. So would love to show a quick demo of what he built just to kick things off.
A sick custom interface someone built in Shopify with Voiceflow. So the site sells batteries, and a lot of questions you have is like, how good is this battery? Like, will it power what I need to? And so they actually built like a AI kind of assistant here to help you figure out how long it'll power your appliance for. And so this is using Voiceflow as the backend, and they built a custom front end for it in Shopify, which is sick. But let's do something like MacBook Pro M3 2024. And so now it's actually taking this and it's going to calculate how many hours or how many charges this battery, so this specific one, is going to help me actually do with this MacBook. So it's sick. It's a 61 hours, 12 minutes, and it kind of breaks down the calculation here. So let's do something more complex, like my CDJ laptop or MacBook Pro 20 and a PA speaker. So let's see how this does. Cool. So it looks like you can estimate it. So this is sick. So then it reprompts you to be like, do you want to get more details or proceed with the current information? Let's do proceed because I don't have any of the model numbers. We're going to use them simultaneously. Wow. But this is super cool. So it breaks it all down. It estimates like how many wattage each thing uses and then how many hours. So this is dope. This is a very, very cool example of what you can do with Voiceflow and just the power of custom interfaces.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is a really cool demo. The team is really excited to find this in general. And again, it is pushing the boundaries of how we're thinking about building really integrated experiences in our Shopify stores. But speaking of examples, what better way than to learn from the gurus themselves? I would love to invite up the Parkfield team as they've seen, been on the front lines of understanding and learning more about the AI and e-commerce space. So yeah, Rich and Renato, do you want to kick off with an intro?
Yeah, certainly. Hi guys, my name is Richard Emanuel. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Parkfield Commerce. So we've been in the e-commerce space working with Shopify since about 2016, and we're super excited about AI and how brands can utilize it to reduce costs, increase sales. And we came across Voiceflow from watching a Liam Motley video in January, early January this year. And yeah, we just fell in love with the platform. We're actually looking for a solution for one of our clients, which we'll probably go into a bit later. And from there, we kind of realized there was an opportunity to create a better connection between Shopify and Voiceflow, which is where we came up with Streamline Connector, which Renato heads up. So I'll let Renato talk a bit about.
Hello, everyone. This is Renato. I'm the lead engineer of Streamline. We were looking on doing the agent for one of our customers, as Rich mentioned. We had a couple of calls with Voiceflow, and they told us that we needed to build a database and set up API connections and a lot of stuff to get, for example, order status retrieval and product recommendations. So that stuck in our heads, and we thought it would be cool to have a connector that does this for people, because if we were on Shopify and you wanted to have an AI engine, you needed to basically hire a developer. So our idea was, okay, how can we do this for $20? So yeah, we came up with Streamline, and right now you can basically add your API key, your agent's API key, and have an agent running in like probably an hour. So that was the goal and the idea behind Streamline.
Love that. Great. So do you guys
I'll
want
let
to
you continue, Rich.
So yeah, Drake Waterfowl, one of our top clients, came to us and said, we get so many tickets outside of business hours. So after 5 o'clock, we get so many tickets, people wanting to know where their order status is, people wondering why they've got 2 packages and they've received one, but the second one hasn't arrived. So there's a lot of repetitive tickets. We said, hey, we could probably achieve some of these with AI. So those were the kind of 3 challenges they came to us. So it was 24/7 support. How do we help these people? How do we reduce mundane tickets? And how do we automate the whole returns process without having human intervention? Right. So like Renato said, that kind of put us on a path. How do we easily connect Voiceflow? Because Voiceflow is an amazing platform, but there isn't an easy way to connect Shopify to that. So we created Streamline Connector, as Renato mentioned, and Streamline Connector pulls in all the order status data, all the product data, all the shipping policies, return policies and pages, and then we push all that data up to Voiceflow into the knowledge base. Really cool thing as well, Renato built was an integration into Loop returns. So you could showcase it in a moment. The whole returns process could be done within Voiceflow. And I'll just play a quick video on that. Before that would all have to be done by speaking to one support team be like, what's your order? And there'd be a lot of back and forth. So that's really cut down the amount of tickets we raised. All right, so since we launched the AI chatbot, which comes with a host of deep integrations, it also comes with product recommendations, which is almost like a byproduct we didn't think about. But people actually ask this bot, like, what should I buy if I'm fishing in Colorado or I'm fishing for the first time? So it's been great in helping new people new to the sport or new to the brand. The greatest thing is obviously the ticket reduction. So we've seen a 60% reduction in support tickets and saving operational costs as well. So those are great. And what's interesting as well is there was buy-in from the get-go from the e-commerce directors and the sales team. They were like, yes, let's do this AI thing. But there was a resistance actually from the CX team that were worried about, hey, we're going to lose that high touch feel with customers. AI is trying to make things up. So there was a bit of resistance from there, but eventually we're like, hey, let's at least get it up. Let's get it trying. Let's get it working out. And we were able to get an amazing testimonial from the support team who's literally said this is an amazing tool. My life is so much more enjoyable now. I get to come to work. The only tickets I have to deal with are like level 3 tickets, so ones where humans are actually required to get involved. I'm not telling people where their order status is anymore, but now I can provide a better customer experience for the people that actually really need my help. So it's been a huge turnaround. It's great to see how we've changed that mindset from the person that was super resistant. I was like, this is amazing, and I don't want to live without it. So it's been overall it's a great experience for Drake, and we're excited to like help other agencies as well, because I feel like it's a whole new channel, it's like a whole conversation I'm having with other agencies, and how do we implement AI for brands? It's super exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
I see a question on the chat about how much we saw on sales. We cannot say the actual number, but I can say in the first couple of days, it actually paid a Voiceflow plan by itself by doing product recommendations. And we're actually pushing to production after this call, a sales tracking system. You will be able to add a little code snippet into your Shopify theme, and we will handle the backend stuff so you can see a little number of your revenue made by product recommendations. So that will be live after this call on Streamline. So you will be able to track what you asked on the chat. It was Michael, I think.
Sweet. Yeah, great. So yeah, if anyone has any other questions, feel free to chime in here. But Renato, anything else to add from your end on your section?
No, not much. I'm saying that yeah. Well, I answered that question. We will basically add give you a code so you can add it to the theme, and that code will see if you have in your URL something. It will get it and add it as a cart node. And then we will filter all the cards with those nodes and get which ones were actual purchases and give you a number displayed in the app dashboard. So that's basically how we will do it. Yeah, that's it from my end.
If anyone has any questions for the Parkfield team or even around Streamline Connector, feel free to drop that in the chat. We'll take a quick pause here. And I know also you guys were mentioning wanting to get some feedback around Streamline Connector. So yeah, feel free to prompt whatever you're looking for from the audience too.
Yeah, we basically wanted to ask you, we have been talking about what could be the next feature, maybe sending meta objects to Voiceflow or whatever piece of data you want to send from Shopify into Voiceflow. We want to listen and add it to the app. So if you have any suggestions, any ideas, feel free to send it, and we will probably add it in the future.
Yeah. So if anyone has tried it out or is curious about having suggestions for another feature, feel free to drop that in chat. I've also shared the Streamline Connector links here as well if anyone wants to reach out, try it out. So I think we're good to transition. Thank you so much to the Parkfield team to join us on stage. Feel free to chime in on the chat. I think a lot of folks are interested to try out Streamline and give it a shot and provide some feedback. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing and joining us for the workshop.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you, Kim.
Yes, of course. Okay, so let's head back into the workshop. So just for today, we will be sharing Nico will be sharing how to build an AI retail agent on Shopify. As a reminder, this is a two-part series with our Making Bots series, which is led by Pete. And so here's a kind of a quick breakdown of how the two workshops differ. We're a lot more focused on how to build things like custom interfaces and chat widgets for developers, whereas Pete is a lot more invested in building a truly great project on Voiceflow with prompting, as well as how to do things like intent classification and use our workflow builder the best. So that's just a quick reminder that their workshop will be happening this week on the 25th. So definitely check them out, as it is kind of a two-part series. But for today, Nico will be sharing 3 chat extensions, which is awesome. So we'll have the first one around OTP verification, so sending a code, verifying the user and connecting them to the Shopify admin API. Then there will be an order refund kind of flow, so how to do things like showing the order refunds in a carousel. And lastly, a couple image scanners. So we have one for QR code and then one for using GPT Vision to scan invoices as well as scan your products. So it's really, really cool. We'd love to bring Nico up on stage to start the workshop.
Yeah, OTP verification. So let's talk about this a bit. So we've seen that Streamline will help you to like make that link between your Voiceflow agent and Shopify. But you might want to authenticate the user first to then, or using Streamline or using the Shopify API as well, just to be sure that you are targeting the right user. So in that session, we will go over a more like a refund kind of flow. So we will start with the user verification, and now as soon as we are sure that we are talking to the right user, we can use our admin API to fetch the information, get all the order, allow the user to select which order they want to. So that's something we've seen on Streamline as well. But in that case, instead of going onto a web page, that will be inside your agent, so the user will be able to select the order, and from that we fetch all the product and show this in a carousel. So the user will pick and choose which product they want to refund. So that will be the second part, and the last part will be more like for fun, but also to discover new ways and add new features to your agent. And one of those will be instead of asking the user for their order number, we can assume that you on the invoice you have a QR code. So we've made a little extension that will allow the user to scan a QR code. We will detect that and send it back to the agent. And another one is using Vision, so LLM with Vision, to detect what product, and also in that example, try to find the condition of the article. So let's say if it's brand new, then we can choose to generate a gift card, for example, or stuff like that. Yeah, let's start on the OTP verification. So let me share my screen. So this is the Shopify demo shop we've made. So as Kim was saying, the Breaking Boat session hosted by Pete will talk about New Balance kind of example for this. So we've built this one. You can see that we have our chat widget here. By the way, quick information regarding this. I know this is something that is coming pretty often. So whenever you want to add the Voiceflow chat widget, you need to do some tweaking. So this is on your Shopify in the theme.liquid, the asset folder days. You want to be sure to add this little guy here. So display block with the important tag for the Voiceflow chat. Otherwise, the chat widget will not load. So let's start with the, let me refresh that just to be sure, with the OTP part. So here, I will click on verify, and I will be asked for a code, and this code has been sent on my email, hopefully. You can use, so we are using Twilio Verify API for that, but you can also use SMS, for example. So my code is, I will do a random one just to show you that we can handle like the retry and stuff like that. And now I will give the right one. So this is 5.3. You can see we now have the user being authorized. We've got the user email. So ultimately, we will be able to then go further with that information. Again, the main goal here is just to be sure that the user that shared that email is actually the owner of that email, obviously, and because everything else will be done based on that email. That's why we absolutely want to verify that. Regarding the verification, what we are doing here, so I assume I will have to do the same here. What we are using is a bun app or service to serve multiple things. So we are serving the extension.js. This is a file with all the extension that we want to use in our chat widget. The widgets.css, as you can see here, we don't have that avatar here. We hide the loading. We don't have the time. So this is a very specific and custom chat widget. And for this, we are using the widget.css file. And we are also loading this in the assistant object here, where you can see we are loading the style sheet from here. This is locally because I'm testing this locally, but on that page, I'm running this on a server. So basically loading this widget.css with a bunch of different information or different styles, rules to, again, hide what I don't need, change the size of the buttons, for example, same the position of those responses. And regarding the extension, for that very specific OTP or authentication, email verification in that case, you can see here what we are using is we are not passing any information or any data within the chat widget because it's kind of risky. Everything that when the chat widget make a request, everything inside that request can be seen. So that's also part of the need for an external server or an external service to handle that part. And the server.ts take care of this. As you can see, we are using the Twilio authentication to do that. So again, every information coming from the chat widget for the user authentication are sent to our server. Our server will decide if the user, so using the chat verification, if the user is legit or not. And in that case, we will update. So using the DM API, we will send an update. As you can see here, we are populating a variable, the valid variable with the true value. And we will also generate a response. So the chat widget can tell the user that they have been authorized. So two-step here, one response sent to the chat widget, and another one to populate a variable in our agent to also tell our agent that the verification has been validated. And again, this is important because we don't want anyone to be able to tweak the chat widget code to send a validation if that's not the case. So that's it for the OTP part. Regarding the process or the extension itself, all the extension we are showing today, or we will show today, will be available on our main repo.
If there's any questions around this first demo, feel free to drop that in the chat. But yes, it is to say that you can do a lot with our chat extension. It's not just a chatbot. You can actually integrate things like OTP or build Carousel. So it's pretty exciting to see. Great. So give it a couple seconds. All right. And then, how about this question? We can also answer it live. Can we do the same through the Voiceflow interface? No, Nico, I think Daniel already shared some of the docs around this in chat. I don't know if you had anything else to add around this question.
Can we do the same through Voiceflow interface? Do you mean in Credor or?
Yeah, I think it's just around, I think this person does not use Voiceflow before. So I think asking in general how to do this, or if they can do it in Creator. Yeah.
So the way your agent, you can choose the channel you want to populate your agent or to use your agent. So either it's a chat widget and then you can use extension if you use our own chat widget. You can build your own chat widget and use your own code, no need for extension for that. Or I don't know, if your chat is used on Slack or WhatsApp, up to you to also support OTP, for example, there. It's just that because today we are focusing on the chat widget, we are using extension because that's easier to implement in our chat widget.
For sure. Great. And then this last question from Raj is, can we see the chatbot on the new Bound site? This is a demo site, but yeah, it's not actually.
Yes, I mean, it's running right now. So this is a demo shop. So this is available. I think it's still behind the password because we are working on this with Pete. But yeah, during Pete's session, I assume that will be available to test. It's just that right now the chat widget is mainly a demo flow, so it's not really useful for you guys to test that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, definitely check out Pete's workshop. But if this is of interest to folks, we can always open it up after the 2 workshops if you want to play around with the demo shop. Question from Ben. How do you add extensions in another application? I always add the extension code in Shopify Liquid.
Oh, so here the extension are added to the chat widget. So Shopify has nothing to do with this, with the OTP, for example, with the authentication. Neither any of all the other extension we will share today. I'm not using any extension in Shopify. What we are using is just an app, custom app to get access to the Shopify API. But all the chat widget extension will use our Voiceflow engine to interact with Shopify API whenever we need it. Everything else is just on Voiceflow ends.
Yeah, for sure. Great. So yeah, I feel good to move on to maybe the second extension here just because of time. But yes, feel free to keep the chat hot. We'd love to look through them as we are putting a Q&A session between each extension. But yeah, I'll pass it over to you for the second one, which is the order refund carousel.
So you can see this is the main menu we've got when we hit the chat widget. So what we want to do here is, so we went over the verify part, which is again a custom action, checking if our variable has been populated with the true value. We are going to check the full flow, which is getting with the user email. Know that we've authenticate the user. With that email, we will get all the orders available for that user. And we will show that list to the user using a custom extension. This is the custom action that will trigger that very specific extension. And then the user will be able to select from that list the order they want to deal with. And the next step will be, again, using the Shopify API, extracting all the products from that order, generate a card. And here you can see we are using a function to, again, extract all the information from the API. The thing with the Shopify API is you can get the order, you can get the product from that order, but you don't have, for example, a simple thing is you don't have access to the product images. So you will have to fetch those images for each product and then generate the different cards with the images. And this is exactly what we are doing. And for this case, we are using a function. So I like to use API step when I'm just making one simple call to the Shopify API, pretty easy. I need the order detail. I make that call with the order number and we're good to go. But in that case, I need to do a bunch of other things. And this is what we will see in that function. I need to fetch, again, from those different products, all the images. So I'm handling this in a function because that's need a bit more code. And also because functions are an easy way to generate a carousel or dynamically generate a carousel. So what we are doing here is as soon as we've got all the images, all the product information like the title, the descriptions, we are going to, and the price, of course, we are going to populate that and add a button on each of those cards. So we can, if the user choose one of those products, we will get access to the product ID. Next step will be to deal with that product ID to start the refund flow, for example. So let's see this in action. And for this, let's go back right here. The order product card. So again, remember, let's say we've just authenticate. So we have that user email. Now we get access to the order list. And if I go to my, actually, I need to go here, I think. I've got the 1002, 1003. So this is what I've got here. If I, let me just restart that. Just to show you that we are indeed grabbing live data from Shopify. And when I will select one of those two, select this one because we have two articles here. Okay, so now we've selected this, we had our little animation, and we have access to those two products. And you can see we have also access to the images that we are showing in that card. And if I click on a refund, we will get a payload with the product ID. So here I'm debugging that information with a type refund, but what we will need is the mainly the ID. But just to show you that we are actually getting information from the user click action. Yep, so regarding this, the flow is two different calls, one to get user information, so user orders, from those orders, getting product details, showcasing that using our Shopify order list extension, where the user will be able to select one of those order, and then generate or extract all the products, fetch the images, and showcase that to the user, back to the user. And of course, we are able to handle different cases where I've got an error, success, default. That's why during demo, we've got that error message instead of just the agent ending the conversation. Always a good thing, and we've seen that, always a good thing to handle some.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, looks like we have some questions in the chat. This one was really, really cool. Okay, so let's start with this one. So from Bass, is a chat extension always a piece of JavaScript on the same site, or can it also be an external web component?
So this is a script or JavaScript that you are loading into your. I can show you after that. But basically, in your init code, snippet code to load the chat widget, you import all your function or your extensions in one file or multiple files, and you choose. Still in the snippet code, you choose which function or extension you want to load in the chat widget. So you can see each part of those extension as a different function. Yeah, it's pure JavaScript. And as we've seen with the OTP part, you can definitely also use or make calls to an external server, for example, if you need to validate a payment, for example. Fun fact, one of the first extension we've built was to validate a payment, for example, because obviously you don't want the user to share credit card information into a chat widget. So instead, you want to secure that part, and you can do the payment elsewhere, wait for that action to be validated, and using your extension, fetch the status of the payment. And when it's done, going back to your agent. So yeah, it's just the code is JavaScript, but you can go back and forth between different services.
Yeah, love that. Great. And then last question for this section before we move on to our third and final extension. Do you suggest any tricks to optimize database queries to Shopify?
That's more something for Renato or Richard. I think they are the experts with Shopify here.
Yeah, that's a great question. Use Streamline. that's
Yeah,
the TLDR.
that's a good answer.
Yeah, that's a great one. Awesome. Okay, cool. So let's hop on to the third live demo.
Okay, so the last part. Now we've seen pretty much how to again authenticate the user, try to retrieve all the information using the Shopify API. Obviously, you can use Streamline. That will be easier. And the last part is more, okay, how can we provide another way for the user to share information with us? And again, because this is related to the chat widget and the extension, we've built two different extensions. One is to allow the user to scan a QR code, so we can extract the order number. And another one is more like to try to find the product the user they are sharing on their webcam, and get the condition of that product, so we can choose whatever we want to do after that, depending on that product condition, for example. So let's see how it looks like. Maybe let's start with the demo first. So I'm going to do the QR code. I need a phone. So if I click here, and I will choose, okay, I'm ready. So yeah, get ready to scan a QR code. So like giving the time to the user to get access to their QR code, like I'm doing here. I don't know if this will work because my webcam is actually in use, but it looks like it will work. So I'm scanning a QR code, and looks like it works. So yeah, okay. So this is the QR code for my 202 article or order, and it has been detected automatically. So we are using a JavaScript library to do this. And we also have like a timeout. So if the user, or if we don't get any QR code within like 20 seconds, we will default to a manual pass. So the user will have to type the QR code. But as you can see, we were successful on this one, and we get access to the QR code contents. The other part is the webcam vision kind of thing. So same thing here. The base is pretty much the same thing, but instead of using the webcam to scan a QR code, we are going to using the webcam to take a picture of the product and then send this to OpenAI, an OpenAI model, in that case 4.0, because they do support vision. And it looks like this. So I've got a New Balance shoe, and I will put that right there, capture the image. We'll also have that little animation while we are analyzing the image and do the magic behind the scene, and hopefully we'll get a response. Yeah, we do. So brand has been detected as New Balance. We don't get the model. We got a description, and the condition is used, which is pretty good, pretty decent. We're not using any pre-trained model, but obviously in that case, you might want to use vision, a model vision capable with all your products, for example. But still doing a good job. Let me try with another one. If maybe we can get a better. I'm trying to get the reference model. Those are pretty old, so I'm not sure this is this. Yeah, we will still get maybe not the model. Yeah, no model. But yeah, we have a decent description, and what we are focusing in that case is the condition. So say those are two passes. So that's covered the vision and the QR code. In the agent itself, if we go right there, this is how it looks like. For the QR code, it's just a matter of sending or using a custom action to scan the QR code. And we have different paths, no webcam. So this is when you don't authorize the access to the webcam, we will flag that. If we don't have or if we're not able to find a QR code within the 20 seconds window, we will also hit this and go to that pass, type the order number. We also use a bit of JavaScript to be sure to extract an order number, either if the user say my order is, or they use the tag here, or basically just sanitize and ensure to extract exactly the number we're looking for. And then it's just, again, just getting that information. If it's coming from the chat widget extension, we're getting this from the last event. So in the extension itself, if I go to the QR code, we can see that in case of success, we send, and this one is right here, I assume. No, I lost it. Yeah, right there, complete. So we are sending using the Interact API from the chat widget. Whenever we are able to extract an information from the QR code, we are sending the type complete. So this is the pass of our custom action. And we are also sending the code data. So the content of the QR code straight to our agent. And this is exactly how we were able to find 202 as the order number from that QR code. For the vision part, it's even simpler. It's using the chat widget extension, or it's a success or it's an error. If it's success, we are going to, again, extract the file URL. So basically, when we use the webcam, we're just capturing a file, uploading that, and getting back an URL where you can access that file that have been uploaded. This is how we are able to show that file in the image step. And so this is why we've got a preview here. And after that, we are sending this prompt to OpenAI, GPT 4.0, which is basically, okay, ignore faces, ignore anything, focus on the product, try to find a model, all that. But again, the project will be available, so you will be able to have a look at that prompt. And we are passing the prompt itself as well as the upload image. And whenever we get a response, we'll deal with that. We extract the part of the response we want, and we show that to the user. So in that case, it's just the debug value we've got here.
And so there's a question
Okay.
actually. Yeah, there's a question actually just as you're on this. Where is that file uploaded? Can that file be accessed by others if they have the URL?
In that case, so in the code extension, I'm actually using a service, so an API that is, so for the QR code, we are not uploading anything. It's just decoded in real time. For the product and the vision thing, we are using a service that is, we've already used that in one of the extensions that are available on our repository for the chat widget extension demo. We already have a file upload extension that uses the same service. And in that case, I'm just trying to find the name because I don't recall it, tempfiles.org. So that's one. I've just made a quick search. That's one of those I found. Obviously, if you use that on production, you send that to your server, or you send that to S3 buckets, for example. Up to you. That's how flexible it is. You can use external services to host your file on your own server if you want privacy and stuff like that.
Totally. Yeah. Another really great question in the chat was around what's the cost of using something like OpenAI Vision? Yeah. So in your experience, like thoughts on this, and it could also be a good segue in understanding like what are other potential projects for this extension?
So talking about cost is pretty, I mean, it's those costs change every week now. So you can, depending of the model you use, Gemini allow you to do vision, OpenAI as well, Anthropic. So depending of what you use, go there and check the token usage for that. On OpenAI, I think, if I recall correctly, I think it's just part of the 4.0, for example. So that will be pretty much the same thing. But yeah, that's a good question. I didn't do the math here because for the demo it was not really that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, if this is something you really want to use, yeah, might be interesting to see what will be the cost versus asking the user to upload or asking the user to send the product back for you guys to check the condition and stuff like that. The main use case here was mainly to see, okay, let's simplify the process, use vision to tell if the product is good or not, try to find the model as well. So the first part where the user select the product to refund, basically that part can be ignored if your product or if you are able to recognize the product well enough. So you don't even have to ask the user to select the product. You just ask them to show the product and you get the brand, the model, and choose to refund or not. So yeah. So you have to balance that. What are your costs when you have to return a product versus what this will cost you if you can automate the process a bit more.
Yeah, great call outs there. This is a question from Lucia. Is it able to link the image of the product back to their order? I think this is reference to the last demo. Yeah.
Is able to link the image of the product back to the order. So if I get it correctly, you are able to extract the product image from your Shopify database. That's the previous demo. For this demo, you are not actually linking anything. It's just using vision to reconnect the product. And if the brand and the model are recognized successfully, then you can assume that this is the product you want to look for. And because you know which product are part of the order, if one of those recognized product from the vision match one of those, you're good to go. But you don't really link anything apart from just saying, okay, the user show me this kind of product and this product is part of their order. So I assume this is the one they want to refund.
Awesome. Great. Yeah. So I know that we are at time here. Yeah. Any last closing thoughts from you, Nico, before we close up the workshop?
No, it's interesting. It was interesting for me. I've tried to go the hard way, not using Streamline. So I assume now I can definitely go the easiest way and try to find, again, maybe more interesting ways to do that kind of refund pass. Yeah, the goal is sky is the limit. So if you want to allow your user to scan a QR code because it's easier than ask them to go over a form, or go for it, try it. And if it works, that will be just a better UX for your user. And at the end of the day, this is what you're looking for.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The world is your oyster. And so the point of us hosting these workshops is to get folks inspired of like what you can actually do and build to push the boundaries of customer interfaces or chat extension, your AI experiences in general. So yeah, that's a great closing thought there. So just to wrap up, wanted to do a quick shout out is we have pretty great developer documentation if you are interested in building a chat extension for yourself. So check out docs.voiceflow.com, as well as we have a very active Discord community with a lot of folks in the chat already. So if you are building anything that we've shown today, we have like a private Shopify channel so folks can connect and get to know each other. So yeah, join our Discord and check out our documentation. And yeah, last call out is that the Pete's workshop, which is connected to this one, is on Wednesday. So be sure to check that one out. I'll also drop the link for registering for that one. But thank you everyone for joining our workshop as usual. And thanks for all the great questions and engagement. So yeah, we're excited to see you for the next one, and stay tuned for the recording as well as the GitHub link, repo, templates, and everything to come. All right. Thanks everyone.